Good morning, guys. Monday morning, college football review, week 4. We'll start with the conferences. It's easy just to go down to conferences, I guess. In the SEC, Alabama handled their business. Vanderbilt was undefeated coming in and called out Alabama and got punched right in the face. Alabama led from start to finish. Very impressive victory over Vanderbilt, who realized that Kansas State and Alabama, there's a big difference in those two teams, and I think Vanderbilt's a solid football team. 6 wins, maybe 7, but you're not in the big boy football yet. So Alabama smashes Georgia, big matchup in Georgia. A lot of hype was surrounded Mississippi State. Georgia came in right off the bat, went up 2 scores, and never worried about that game after the first quarter. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, the kid from the freshman quarterback. Good defense. They attacked Mississippi State and their quarterback, Nick Fitzgerald, and never trailed in that game. I think Georgia's a contender. A lot of people didn't realize, I think, how good they really are. Offensively and defensively, play really good defense, attack the football, a lot of leadership, upperclassmen on that defense, 10 returning starters, and then, of course, a good running game with Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. So, Georgia may be a contender. I could see Georgia winning out here, go 12-0, face Alabama in the SEC championship game, and even with a loss, a 12-1 record with a loss to Alabama, may get you into the playoff. So we'll see, but right now Georgia looks really good. The rest of the SEC, Florida sneaks by again, beats Kentucky at the very end on the blown coverage. I just don't think Florida's very good. They've been fortunate, Hail Mary against Tennessee, and then last second blown coverage by Kentucky. They'll face Vanderbilt this week, and we'll see which team, if Vanderbilt can bounce back or if Florida can get another victory. We'll see about that. South Carolina looked terrible against La Tech, trailed the whole way through, missed several field goals again this week. But the kid, Parker White, made one with a few seconds remaining to beat La Tech. I guess a win's a win if you're South Carolina. I guess you're still in the 6 and 7 win kind of goal. Hopefully get a Liberty Bowl or Music City Bowl, or if you can win one extra game, maybe a Belt Bowl. But I guess we'll see this week against Texas A&M. That might tell the tale in College Station. Texas A&M scored 50, beat Arkansas. Arkansas is reeling. Brett Bielema may be about to pack his bags in Fayetteville. Tennessee struggled at UMass. I don't know what's going on there. They play Georgia this week, and they should get whipped. Rest of the league, nothing much else to say about the SEC. LSU barely beats Syracuse, and there's not really a whole lot to talk about that conference right now other than Alabama and Georgia. ACC, Clemson, defending national champions, come back home after beating Louisville last week, after a big win against Louisville, big win against Auburn, and kind of just, we're flat, 7-7 in the third quarter, and it looked like one of those games pre-Deshaun Watson that Clemson could lose that they weren't supposed to, but they got it together, scored 4 touchdowns late. The Travis Etienne kid showed why he's one of the best running backs in that stable of running backs, and along with Feaster, and they got 3 or 4 other guys who can run the ball. But they, the cream rose to the top. They took care of business, won that one going away. They'll go up to Blacksburg this week to play Virginia Tech, who's also undefeated, who I think is a contender as well. If they play as lax as they did this week, they could come back home with an L. But I think Dabo will have those guys ready. That's going to be a really good game. Nighttime at Blacksburg with 2 undefeated teams. The rest of the ACC, Duke handled their business against North Carolina. Louisville beat Kent. Miami's undefeated. I don't think they played with 2 games, but that they may be a contender with Mark Richt down there. Wake Forest. Wake Forest is a team that's undefeated. They play Florida State, who hadn't won a game yet. Florida State lost to North Carolina State. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there with Florida State. They could be 0-3, and Wake Forest could be 5-0, and that'd probably be the weirdest scenario of all. Big 12, Oklahoma State got a chance to prove that they're in the hunt, and they dropped to TCU. TCU's got a couple decent wins this season. TCU's got to move up into the top, 5, 6, 7 right now after that victory. So TCU's up there. Oklahoma State will have a chance to rebound. They still play Oklahoma and got several other games. Oklahoma's a team we thought might be the truth, and they gave up 41 to Baylor, 149-41, which 49 is impressive, but giving up 41 to a Baylor team that lost to Liberty isn't too impressive. So I don't know where we stand on Oklahoma now. A win's a win, and they won't lose any space, but I don't know. That's not good. Rest of the Big 12, West Virginia wins. Texas, we'll see what Texas does. The second half of the season, maybe you'll see Texas kick it up a notch under Herman and finish strong for the 2018 season. Pac-12, Oregon, I thought they were a contender. Went to Arizona State this weekend, got beat by 2. They're pretty much out, all intents and purposes, unless they go on a run and beat Southern Cal and some other teams. Southern Cal struggled again. They hadn't put a 4-quarter game together all year. So we'll see what Southern Cal does. They're in the mix. Sam Darnold's name keeps them in the mix, but they got a couple tough games ahead as well. UCLA loses to Stanford. They're done. The rest of that conference is fairly average. Big Ten, big game. Penn State went to Iowa and won on the last second play. Iowa's always tough at home. They've beaten a bunch of top 5 teams, Ohio State and Penn State and Wisconsin, and those teams at home at night. So it was a good win for Penn State, even though it doesn't look all that great maybe on paper. A good win for Penn State. Keeps them in the top 5 in the playoff hunt as well. Barkley is got to be top 3 in the Heisman Trophy running right now. Had 300-plus total yards. Ohio State beat UNLV, but they're supposed to. I still don't think they're very good offensively with J.T. Barrett behind center. Wisconsin handles their business. Michigan beats Purdue. Had a quarterback change there, and it looked like it worked out. I would probably go that route from here on out because Wilson Spade is just he's a turnover machine. So my top 5 now this week after week 4 would be Alabama, Clemson. I'd put Penn State in the 3 hole. I just think they're better. I think they're more balanced than the other teams. I'd put Oklahoma at 4 just because they do have a big win, and I'd still put Southern Cal at 5. But TCU and Georgia are knocking on the door, and both of those teams keep moving up. I can see Georgia in the top 5 for sure here soon. Southern Cal, we'll see. I think they play Notre Dame in a couple of weeks. That the Wimbush kid, the quarterback they have, could test them. That could be a shootout. I don't know that Alabama gets tested the rest of the year. Clemson, if they win at Virginia Tech this weekend, should win out. I don't think Florida State gives them any trouble. So you might see this same top 5 for the rest of the year. TCU and Georgia will be the 2 that are knocking on the door. So if somebody slips, they'll try to get in there. But so far, it's Alabama, Clemson, Penn State, Oklahoma, Southern Cal. Talk to you next week.